Hello guys, today we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. This is episode 16, and in the last episode we saw some more exploration of India and a new country is formed. We saw that there was more exploration of the Japanese Isles and a new country exists there. We saw that the Russians now connect up with the orange team. The red team invaded Switzerland and gained two major cities. And Iceland has been discovered and is being colonized by Scotland and Ireland. And to start off this episode, we are going to be looking at the alliance layer. Basically, we're going to see that this Northern Italian team is going to leave the Diamond Alliance. And they are going to leave the alliance, but one country that is going to join the alliance is this Basque country. They are going to join because they are in favor of the red team. And this is going to lead to some tensions with the Catalonian team because the Catalonians already had a bad reputation with the French team because they're like, you guys basically betrayed us with this peace treaty in the Crusades, and they just don't like the red team anymore. But the Basque team sees this as an opportunity, and basically, if you see where we're going, they kind of want to invade the Catalonian team. And a declaration of war is sent to the capital of the Catalonian team, just like what happened with Switzerland, and instead of just saying we can give you some provinces, they are going to straight up go to war. Now, something that is going to happen, they're not going to call on any ally to help them fight the red team or the Basque country, but they are going to be funded just a little bit by the Northern Italians because they just left the Diamond Alliance. But anyway, as we can see here, the red team is going to get their people together and start an invasion of this area of Catalonia, and they're going to capture a major city like really quickly, and they're going to work to go along this front line all the way, and then so is the Basque country. They're going to work on getting this major city right here. Now, the Catalonians are kind of caught off guard by this because they did not really expect that they were going to go to war with the red team. Nonetheless, the Basque country as well, they did not expect them to actually go to war with them. So they are still like not ready for this war, and that's why they're doing so bad in this. And as we can see, another major city is captured by the red team, and it is circling in among this city where it's sieged. Something interesting we're going to see though is the Basque country cannot get past the mountains right here, the Pyrenees mountains, because it's not a very good, it's not a very easy place to invade, but they are going to invade a little bit to the south right here. And like I said, with the Pyrenees mountains, they cannot invade, which is going to lead to them being able to invade the Basque country right here, where the Pyrenees mountains kind of are. They're going to try to cut them off. It doesn't quite go successfully quite yet, but they are reaching to the capital. Now, something that is a little bit interesting is the Northern Italians are going to slow down on their funding of the Catalonian team because they are going to see something internally happen with them. Because they are going to start putting money towards internal things such as scientific research. Anyway, in Catalonia, we are going to see a spearhead being made by both the red team and the teal team, the cyan team, to cut off and encircle this large area, which is not good at all for the Catalonians because this area is being squeezed, and eventually they're just going to go ahead and surrender. Now, the red team and the blue team are going to be very kind and let them go back to the Catalonian team, but they are not allowed to fight. Now, this doesn't go quite well because some of them are going to continue to fight because the Catalonian government lets them. But anyway, we are going to see that the Cyan team is going to push back against the Catalonians in this front line, but they are not going to be able to get this area. And that is because they are going to cut this off. Now, these guys have one of the best navies in the world. It's probably third in the world, with first being the Crete nation and the second being the Southern Italians. Now, they've been weakened with their navy because of the war over here, but they are still second. Anyway, the red team is going to be able to continue to push down, and they are going to send a bunch of boats down and capture this little island right here, as well as this one. This island, I think it's called Palma or something. I don't remember. But they're not going to be able to get it because it has a major city and it's well defended. But something that the Catalonians were not prepared for is that the Cyan team is going to push down and try to make a spearhead. They're going to go in between these two major cities, sieging both of them, not quite getting them. Actually, they're going to get that one. But they're going to be able to push them out of this team, and they are going to take over this area, where the rest of them are going to sail away, and we'll talk about where they go later. The red team is going to push through the coastal regions of Catalonia, get to the Pyrenees Mountains, and they're just not going to go past here as far as like this area, but they are going to push along the coast. As we can see, the blue team is doing very, very well, and they're going to capture this major city. They're going to work down the inland areas, and they're going to make a spearhead to cut this country in half. It goes successfully. Now, they also have a good navy, but it's nowhere near the blue team's navy. The red team, though, is going to manage to get this island right here, and all of this archipelago is captured by the red team. The Cyan team is going to end up capturing this whole area as they surrender, and yeah. The red team is going to go around the Pyrenees Mountains, not even worrying about them. They're going to capture this city and get toward the capital. They siege it and they take it. And of course, the rest of this area surrenders. Now let's take a look at the peace treaty. The first thing we see is the red team is going to end up getting this much land. This is pretty much all of the land north of the Pyrenees Mountains. And then the Basque country is not going to get that much land, but we'll talk about why. So the rest of the peace treaty, we're going to see two new countries be created, this being this Catalonian team, a new Catalonian team. We're going to see this new orange team, the Valencian team, and the old government of Catalonia is allowed to exist in the Galapagos. What am I talking about? In the Balearic Islands. I did decide, though, that this singular province right here, it's a county pretty much, is going to be given back to this new Catalonian government because they want to move their capital right here and they want a little bit of space. The capital of the new Catalonian team is going to be right here, like I said. The capital of this Valencian team is going to be right here, and the capital of this Palma team is going to be right here. And this is now what this area of the map looks like. Me personally, I think it looks quite good. But let's talk about that ship of the people that left from this area. If we remember, there was a ship sent from the people over here that had to leave, and since they did not want to go back here, they decided that they're going to send people off to somewhere else. And they're going to sail up to Ireland. They're going to stop there, refuel, and by the way, these people are saying Ireland is their best friend. So they're going to go up to Iceland, and they're going to stop here, and they're going to make a settlement right here. And we're just going to say that the rest of Iceland is explored, even though there's ice caps, these like really big glaciers. We're just going to ignore that, and we're going to see that this new country is going to be formed right here. I already put a city here because, yeah. And this is just a small population of people that wanted to move that was on that ship, and it's just going to be these northern parts of Iceland. And they're going to take this little peninsula right here. This is pretty much all the land they're going to get. But since all three of these nations are already on here, let's take a look at what it's going to be divided into. This new country is going to get this land, the Scottish are going to get this land, and the Irish are going to get this land. And since this is its own country, it's going to get a capital city. And this is now the northernmost capital city, and it's kind of weird because pretty much no one lives here. It was literally just those boats that went here, which was not a whole lot of people. It was about probably 2,000. And since they're so friendly with Ireland, and Ireland is allies with Scotland, this whole island of Iceland, people can just go around without like any passport or anything. Which a passport wouldn't have been invented at this point anyway, but whatever. We are going to now look at the northern Caspian Sea, and we're going to take a look at this new country over here and the orange team. Let's just take a look at how they expand. The orange team is going to just go a bit north, just not really that much expansion. They just kind of want to move north just in case some people like want to like move, because their country's kind of densely populated, at least in this area. And then this like Russian kind of area is going to go along and capture all of the coast, and they're just gonna go ahead and connect up with this Russian team just cause, and just move a little bit north. And it's gonna look something like this. Now we are going to see a similar thing, since that took forever because I'm horrible at talking. I'm just gonna show you what all of these guys do. The Estonians are gonna get this land. The East Prussians are gonna get this land. I guess I'll just call them the Belarusians because that's kind of where they are. And then the Ukrainians will get this land. And then the Russians will get this land. Like I said that they're not going to touch any other countries because they're going to be isolationist, but that is not going to happen. But speaking of that, we are going to see an actual group of people that want to be isolationist, and they're going to go quite far. They are going to head off this direction, and they're going to find this lake right here. They're going to settle on the south of it because it's better to settle in the south. And I'm going to have them disconnected from the rest of the world, because like I said, they want to be isolationist. Now this north of this lake in this area is kind of like mountainous, so they're not really going to go that north of it, but they're going to explore quite a bit south of it, because this is like good land, kind of. Not really, but better than the north. And they're going to start their settlement right here. And it's going to be pretty small right now because not a lot of people wanted to be separate from the rest of the world. Taking a look over in Asia, we're going to see that a new country is going to be formed in the Shanghai area. This is where modern day Shanghai is located. And it's not going to be a real big nation. It's just going to exist because people wanted to separate from China. And this is all it's going to look like so far. And that is actually it for the Asian update today. East Asian rather, because we are going to be seeing these mini nations over in Arabia expanding. The first nation that is going to be expanding is this one, the green one. I don't know what it would be called in real life, but basically it's going to expand down the coast all the way to Oman, and it's going to end pretty much over here. It's going to go a little bit into the desert, but this isn't like the worst desert. It's kind of habitable. The blue team is going to connect up with the green team, and they're just going to expand to give their capital some space, and that's what they're going to get. This Abu Dhabi country is going to connect all the way up to Qatar and go a little bit into the desert, just like so. the Qatar country is just going to connect up with Mesopotamia, the southern Mesopotamian country, right, just like that. And the Persian team is just going to expand a little bit in this area. And going back to Europe, we're going to see that the red team is going to send a request to the green team saying, can we annex you basically to make our empire bigger? And they're like, sure, we're your best friend. So we're going to do this. They're just going to join up with the red team. We're going to see that these guys and other people are going to send people down to explore more of this African coast. Sorry about that. They're going to explore these areas down south. They're kind of just going to keep going. It's not looking too good as far as like weather and all that. So they're just going to stop here. They're not going to create a new nation because it's just really hot. They're going to turn back, but they are going to put some settlements here so that they can come back and live here during the winter. And that is all for today's video. But before I end it, like I said, I was doing the shout out thing to my last public subscriber. There has not been a new public subscriber. So I'm just going to shout out a random person that I enjoy watching, and today is AltSend Mapping. You can just look it up. If you like my content, you would definitely like his. He's a little bit further into his series, and I really just enjoy his series. So if you enjoy my content, you would definitely like his. Anyway, that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.